Hello, I'm Jen-Vivian Rees, and this is my design concept for the YouTube FTC COPPA laws. In 2019, YouTube was required to comply with COPPA laws. In response, YouTube added a feature for creators to label their videos as for kids or not for kids. However, YouTube's AI sometimes changes a video's label if it believes a creator mislabeled it. Adult videos can accidentally appear on YouTube Kids, and all viewers have less options to interact with the video. FTC's guidelines for what is and isn't made for kids is very gray, as things inside of videos can be very subjective. You can have an animation like SpongeBob, but the end of the video might have an F-bomb in it. One is fairly kid-friendly, the one very much not. But YouTube is taking a more black and white approach to the guidelines and just seeing that animation of SpongeBob where the algorithm says, okay, this is primarily for kids, so let's make it a made for kids video and put it onto YouTube Kids. So for my ideation, I did a brainstorming map on what YouTube has and can do with the COPPA laws. So on the left, we have what they have implemented with not made for kids and made for kids. For the second option, YouTube has restricted features such as no personalized ads, no comments, and no playlists for kids and adults. YouTube also makes it where you have to be 13 to make an account on the main YouTube channel, and you do also have YouTube Kids if you are younger than 13, which is supposed to have those safer restricted options, but for the reasons we talked about, it can be a bit of an issue. So how can we fix some of these issues for both the creators, the parents, and the kids? So videos can have things like creator filter tags for the creators to include if a video has swears, nudity, adult content, and where that's in the video so that YouTube's AI can pick up on that, and if something is labeled for kids but it has a bunch of swear labels, then they can have somebody look at it and be like, okay, is this mislabeled? Yes or no? Instead of just throwing it onto YouTube Kids. And if they don't do that, then parents can see this has a bunch of swears in it. Maybe it wasn't intended for YouTube Kids, so I'm gonna avoid looking at this. We also have just having like labels on top of the videos to tell a parent what YouTube has labeled it and what the YouTuber has labeled it as, just so that you as the viewer know what the intention was versus what YouTube thinks the intention is. So for my first sketch, I decided to go with the YouTube setting page of when you're in a video and being able to choose if your video is made for kids, if it's not made for kids, or if it's family friendly, and implementing that idea of the different review tags. So you're able to put it inside of the timeline, as well as being able to put what specific swears or adult humor is in there so that viewers will know, okay, this is what's in the content, I'm interested in this, I'm not interested in this at all. On a more viewer side approach and YouTube as a whole, we have two separate posters where YouTube can define what is made for kids and what isn't made for kids, so that you can kind of see as both a viewer and a creator what those guidelines are and what they're more refined on. If you're more curious about it, you can always click on said poster because it'll be on the website, and then it'll take you to the guidelines if you want more specifications. So overall, the settings page I mostly kept the same and added a few different things to make it emulate what YouTube's setting page is. I decided to go with a darker red on the tabs just so that you instantly see it, it pops out on the page, and you know this is an important thing that as a creator you should put in if any of these things are in there. And it also shows this is like an adult setting. So for the first poster, I mostly kept this the same, but I changed the content targeted to kids to games for kids to show stuff like dress-up games, because that is what FTC used as their example of what is definitively something that would be made for kids. And then we also have animation targeting kids since they are separate things. And then not made for kids, we have pretty much the same thing, but I did put adult humor in there, as there are a lot of adult comedies that kind of skirt the edge of not being for kids, but also isn't super vulgar. It's just something that maybe you don't want your 6-year-old seeing, but you're okay with your 15-year-old seeing. And then we also have the feedback page here, where one of my classmates, Isaiah, looked at all of the different things, and this is his feedback. And we also have the reflection. I think my best design is the YouTube for Kids poster. I iterated from the sketch to make it more specific. The poster is simple, but it quickly gives users specific topics with eye-catching thumbnails. On the other hand, the Not for Kids poster is a little less specific and is less eye-catching. Instead of violence, I could put violent video games, and for adult humor, I could put something like adult shows. It would open up more variety to change the thumbnail pictures to make it more eye-catching and help with that YouTube branding side of it, help with making it more specific. With the nudity and sexual themes, I had to figure out where that line was, because it is supposed to be a YouTube branded poster and YouTube branded things. So having something that is just straight up like super inappropriate is something that you shouldn't put in a YouTube brand poster. So figuring out where that line is and what can still come across as that thumbnail was a little bit tricky for me, but I think I did find at least a little bit of a middle ground there. Both posters have good margins and negative space. The YouTube settings page emulates the page nicely with the options, tabs, and the overall layout. If I changed anything, it would be the spacing for the options on the left. It's a filler detail to help flesh out the page, but the text is a bit large with off spacing. Adding a bit more spacing between the options could fix the spacing issue. For the tabs, I chose a darker red to emulate them being adult options. Black tabs blended into the page, and the YouTube red felt a bit too bright to read with the white text. The darker red helps the options pop on the page so users instantly see the features and how to use it.